What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Jade and USA podcast. This is episode 6, and today we are continuing the topic of modern dating and relationships, continued from our last week's episode. My name is Josh, and I'm joined with my co-host.
Hello, I'm Janie. You should know me by now.
Awesome. Updates from last time. I should have probably mentioned it in the last episode, but earlier this month in August, I had the great opportunity to once again work the Korean Heritage Camp back in Michigan, Sejong Camp. So it was my second year. Had a really great time with the kids. This year, I had the youngest kids, so the 8 and 9-year-olds. They were quite the handful. Kept me up late at night, but it was just great to see all the staff members and other campers that I had good relationships with from last year. And it was just nice to be outside in nature, off my phone, and just away from the city for a little bit, which was great. So just wanted to add that in there because you guys can check it out too on Facebook or Instagram at Sejong Camp, SAEJONG Camp. So thought I'd add that.
Nice.
Yeah. Any updates for you? I feel like we should. Yeah, I feel like we can kind of do this. Any updates on your end from the last time?
No updates on my end. I cleaned my room, so now I have a better setup. My phone isn't 3 inches from my face. That is about it. Yes. So I do want to ask though. So I had never not known about heritage camps growing up. And I know you kind of just started getting involved, Josh, but what do you think is the importance of these camps and why people should go to them, use them, whatever?
Yeah. I think especially as adoptees, heritage camps are super, super important for being around other Asian people, especially as you're a kid. When you're a kid, because a lot of us adoptees are mostly in primarily white environments and non-Asian environments, so there's not a lot of exposure to other Asian people, especially your age too. So I really wish I had something like this when I was younger to just connect with other Korean people, other Asian people. Sejong Camp is Korean heritage camp, so it's all Korean. It's really cool to see the kind of population of the camp. That sounds weird, but the camper body of the camp is a mix of adoptees, second gen kids, just Korean kids, and then maybe half Korean, half black, half Korean, half white, half Korean. So we all kind of have that commonality of our heritage being Korean, at least partly. And yeah, it's a great time, and I think it's really important, especially being young, and especially for adoptees. I think to be around those sort of people to kind of get a sense of pride for who you are. So it's beautiful to see. Genuinely.
Nice. Yeah, that's so heartwarming. So cute. I'm sure you're one of the most favored camp counselors, if I had to guess.
I don't know.
No.
I don't know.
Maybe not.
No. I'm not gonna say one way or the other. I'm not gonna be like that. I'll just say they want me back next year. I'll just say that.
That's good.
Put it that way. Yeah. But no, great week. It was a great week.
Nice.
But yeah, I think we get right into this episode. Like I said, we're getting back into the modern dating relationship topic that we started last week. We went way longer than both of us thought, so we had to make a part 2. And yeah, so the first question or the first topic that I want to ask you is just dating as an adoptee. Does that ever come up when you're talking to a guy? Maybe being also obviously being an Asian woman, what kind of things, issues, just things that come up? What is that like?
I would say for the whole adoptee thing, it usually comes out as soon as they get a hold of my Instagram handle, because it is my first and last name. So pretty uncommon to have a French last name, being Asian, so everyone always asks, am I French? And I say no, I'm adopted, my family's white. So it's just a done deal as soon as that happens. And honestly, it's not something I think about a whole lot. I'm I don't know. I don't think it changes their perception of me too much unless they're like, "Oh, poor you." But like, I don't know. I haven't heard any different. Um, I would say as an adoptee, I think that kind of does affect who I like find interest in. I feel like I almost connect more with like more like biracial people who are like half white because they kind of know like the like white side, but then also being perceived as another race as well. And then I just yeah, like I haven't really met a whole lot of adoptees, so like I haven't dated any adoptees really. So that's not a thing. Before I get into like the whole like being an Asian woman and dating, what about you, Josh? What about adoption? Does it come up a lot?
Uh, yeah, it's like a very interesting thing. I think there's a pretty big difference between being like a guy and a girl in the dating market. So I think for me, usually I tend to gravitate more towards like Asian women is like my type and whatever. So I've of course encountered a lot of like um confusion about like, oh, like why don't you know Korean, or like what ethnicity are you, or like, oh, like back in the day, like they're like, oh, what is your last name, like that's not a Korean last name. So it always comes out. And then unfortunately, like most of the time with like Asian girls or people that I tend to like gravitate towards, they're not to say that they're not as like accepting, but they're it's always like a big like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
like, so you like you can kind of tell they're like, oh, like you don't actually have like the same upbringing as me. Like, yeah, you do look Asian, and but you're not really like Korean. So I've got like a weird like mixed reaction with that. And it's weird, like I've kind of been conditioned to like not disclose it right away, just because I don't want to potentially like disqualify myself before like like way too early. So actually try to like get to know them more. They get to see my personality outside of me being just like viewing me as like a fake Asian or something or whatever. So then when the time comes where I inevitably disclose to them that I am an adoptee, it's not as big of like a disqualifier, if that makes sense. So kind of sucks, but I think as time has gone on in like recent years, and you know, got become more secure in it. Like I was obviously, I think you could pretty well see how insecure I was about being an adoptee, like back in the day. And that doesn't really build a lot of confidence back to the person that I'm telling. So being more secure in it, having more of like a acceptance of like the situation, and like just it is who I am and my identity, just works out a little bit better. So yeah, that's kind of the reality I face.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. Yeah, let's talk
Oh,
about the
right on.
differences between dating as a guy and a girl, which I guess we kind of got into last week, but I feel like there's just so many things to talk about. Or I guess as an Asian guy and an Asian girl.
For sure, for sure. Do you want me to start
Yeah, you
this time?
start.
Okay, yeah. So I think a lot of us, a lot of you listening, watching, whatever, kind of understand Asian guys in the Western world or like America when we're competing per se against like the broad population where everyone looks pretty different. We're like a melting pot here, right? So Asian guys are kind of seen more as like quieter, more docile, weaker, potentially, um, have like less like sharp features. Usually have like smaller noses, like flatter face, like those kind of things, smaller eyes, whatever. Just not those traditionally attractive masculine like features in the U.S. that are seen as attractive. So like those beauty standards are a little like against us in a way, versus if we're in Asia and everyone is Asian and has those sort of features, and the beauty standards is different, whatever. Um, so I think that's an important thing to first like point out. Um, and yeah, I think there is no reason, I think, for you, if you are like more of like the docile type and like you kind of fall into those things, I don't think you should change if that's who you are. I think that's an important thing to recognize. But I think for me personally, I'm more of like the, I don't even know how to say this right, but like I don't like follow those things. Like I work out a lot. Like I try to present more like masculine, in like that sort of sense. So I honestly don't think I just want to like recognize that like the odds are kind of stacked against you as an Asian guy in the West, and I think like I think there's a type for everyone has like a certain type too. You know, Asian guys are not fetishized, but like maybe put a little bit higher these days, than say like 10 years, 5, 10 years ago, just because of like the Asian wave of people like kind of recognizing the strengths that we do have. But yeah, kind of sucks sometimes because I feel like I would never get looked at by like a white girl or something, versus like I just know would have more success with like maybe like an Asian girl or something. So yeah, that's my little take on that.
Okay.
What do you think as an Asian woman?
As an Asian woman, obviously there's like the whole fetishization thing, and like I'm not gonna get real into that, but I was talking with another Asian adoptee friend last week, and like we were saying how it's always like, and this goes for non-Asian guys, it's always like interesting the next girl that they date after you. It's kind of like if they date another Asian girl, it's like, oh, are they only into Asian girls? But then if they don't they don't date an Asian girl and it's like some like blonde girl or something, it's like, oh, did they even like me? Like, I don't know, it's like this weird thing. It's almost like you have these guys that are into Asian girls and then guys that aren't, and it's just like, I don't know, I feel like it's not as much of a like blonde versus brunette like type of thing. Not quite. It's just like, I don't know, it's an interesting thing to think about. And then obviously you like don't want to be looked at as like, oh, just an Asian girl, like I'm only attracted to you because you're Asian type of thing. But I do kind of understand the whole like being perceived as like more submissive or docile or whatever. It's kind of a weird thing that like people put on us. And I think that goes with like the whole like Asian quiet kid thing. So it's like, I feel like a lot of people think, I don't know, especially in like the older generations, right, where there's usually a white guy with like an Asian wife, like I feel like they always have in their mind like, oh, like Asians are always more submissive, whatever, like they're easier to date because of that, they're easier to control. I don't know, it's just like a weird thing. That, or like everyone thinks like on the opposite end, like Asian girls are like exotic and wild and like freaky or whatever. And it's just like such a weird thing to associate with someone just because of like what they look like. I don't know, I feel like that's not as much of a deal with like other races. I feel like people don't like project that because of what they look like. They kind of, they're more lenient,
I feel like, to chime in here, I think like white guys and like, or whatever, Americans associate the like exoticness with like, you know, Hispanic, Latina, like women.
Okay.
I think that
Could be.
is also a thing. But yeah, I definitely agree. There's just like a weird, especially like you said, the older generation, you see all the time, like you meet like maybe like a Asian kid today, like that's like our age, and you like see the parents or something. Not to say everyone is like this, but like you see it, like the dad is kind of like that, like macho, like like a colonizer kind of vibe.
Yeah.
It sounds so bad, but then like the wife is like a quiet like Asian woman. Not to say like those are all bad, because I'm sure like they love each other and everything, but it's like a very common trope, and I think it stems from the idea that we're more like quiet, submissive, conquerable, whatever, quiet, whatever, not gonna fight back, things like that, which is not great. But I think the tide is hopefully turning. I think more people are aware of the problem.
Yeah,
so,
and I feel like even historically, there's guys, and you can probably talk more about this, Josh, like the passport bros. I feel like that's just like the modern version of like American soldiers going over to like Vietnam or the Philippines and like coming back with like a wife. It's like,
yeah, I think, okay, so the passport bros topic is quite interesting, and I'll give my take very like quickly, because I think is very deep. So I have qualms with it, and I also like understand it because okay, so I understand or I have qualms with it because of the exact same reason. Guys are just thinking like foreign women like are more exotic, more fun. Maybe these guys can't like really get girls here, so like they gotta like go overseas and like it'll be way easier. So like that's what they're doing, and like they're gonna go to Thailand and then find a wife that way, which is fine. Like okay, whatever. But I kind of have empathy for it because maybe we can get into this later. But like I feel like dating is just like absurdly like hard for guys in 2024. Girls have like crazy standards that like can't be met. So I think sometimes maybe it does make sense to go somewhere where you might be appreciated more, maybe. And those guys can potentially find that in like other places where they'll see American, like it might be mutually beneficial. But that's not to say that like that's like all okay, because some guys like definitely just need to like step up and like work harder and like be more like what's the word, just like level up, so that like you don't even have to like go overseas to do that. But yeah, that's kind of like my quick take on that.
I have a question. So you say that women these days have like super high standards. What standards are these passport bros like not reaching or not meeting? If they obviously have money to go overseas, right?
I don't think you associate with passport bros with like being rich. I think it's just like, yeah, it doesn't cost like crazy. Like that's not really what it is. I think, girls just for like, I need 6 foot, I need like 6-pack, 6 inches, 6 figures, like all that crap. And like, if the average guy is not that at all, actually. And this goes back to like the online dating thing, like dating apps. Guys can get really like discouraged by the not success that they're getting, the lack of success that they're getting from dating apps in this world that we're not really like meeting people outside. And dating app is like your main form of like finding someone, and if you're not doing good on there, you're like really just like down bad, so you kind of have to like figure it out. So that's what I mean by the standards. I don't know.
Okay. Okay, yeah, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, okay.
Well, let's talk about like the Oxford study. Do you want to define what that is, Josh?
Yeah, the Oxford study, if you guys don't know, is the idea and a study that was actually done by people from University of Oxford that basically concluded that the Asian man or the Asian woman, white man, interracial combo is like statistically like is a statistical outlier compared to all other like interracial pairings. So it's like extremely common. And the obviously like we all see it, so they actually just put it into like data and in a formal way. So that's what Oxford study is. Like you see any video of like an Asian girl and a white guy online, look in the comments, Oxford study. So this is a common thing, especially as Asian guys. We see something like this, and we see, one of our own with like an Asian or like a white guy, and we're like, no, why? And it's usually like a beautiful like Asian girl with like a mid white guy, like mid as in like average looking at best, and it's like, what am I doing wrong? Okay, so like that's the joke or whatever, but that's like the idea behind the Oxford study. Yeah. Well, do you have any thoughts on Oxford study? Have you partaken in such a phenomenon? You wanna speak to that at all?
I guess I can. I don't know. Does it count? Okay, so like I said before, like my type, I guess, is normally like biracial, like white mixed with whatever else. So like my past two boyfriends have both been, I call it like spicy white. So it's like
Mm.
I will, I don't know. It's like one of those things. It's always after you break up with your like boyfriend, girlfriend. I don't know if it's the same for guys, but usually for boyfriends, like all of your friends are always like, "Oh, well, he was ugly anyways." It's like, well, he wasn't ugly when I was dating him. So it's like now that I think about it, yeah, maybe they're both two basically mid white guys, but I don't know. Like, does that? I don't know if that counts of partaking in it.
I just meant like
But in
have you
general,
like dated like a white guy or something, or just I think yeah. Uh,
okay.
Go ahead.
I mean, I I don't know. Like, I've like not really like I've not officially dated, but I feel like I've not really had many. Like, I haven't really had any like the talking stages like that are serious with like a white guy. And there's also like different types of white guys, and I feel like the very like white that are like they have a golden retriever and they go to their lake house every summer. Like that's like not my type. So I don't know. It's like it's a whole thing. There's a spectrum of white guys.
Okay.
Hmm.
Of course, of course. And one thing I was gonna add to like the reason why like this is such a statistical anomaly is like they say this is not me, this is just me reporting on what I've seen. This is the reasons, but I also might attach myself to these reasonings, but it's because they say that like the white guys usually it's like that like basic white guy like wants to date like a someone exotic, and then like Asian girls are maybe seen as more like submissive, docile, or whatever things we talked about. But then the other side, the reverse, is like this is not my this is my reporting, okay? That they say that the Asian girls like the white guys because they like give like the very like traditional Western like strong jaw,
Hmm.
strong like big nose, those things on top of like maybe like a subconscious thing that they're seen as like it's like a status thing. Like
Hmm.
white people have traditionally been like the ones that are more successful in America, and like latching on to that is like associating with like higher status and things like that. So that's why the they like goes both ways, which I thought was interesting, and I think that might be
I think
true.
that's true.
But
Yeah.
yeah, it's like a very common thing. Very common. I joke and say like like I'll be out in public or something, and I'll just see like like beautiful, beautiful, like stunning, like Asian girl, and I like look, she's like holding hands with like it's just like a stick, like
Yeah.
lanky stick white guy with like no drip,
Mhm.
and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
day ruined, right? Not actually, but like I do like genuinely like I'm like so.
Mhm. That could be
Um,
you.
it just is what it is. It just is what it is.
That's what it is.
It's what it is. Maybe you'll see me taking a flight over to some foreign country to find my woman. I'm just kidding.
Okay. Yeah, let's start a GoFundMe for that. Um,
For sure, for sure.
yeah. Do you
All
ever
right.
wait?
Yeah.
Do you ever?
What?
So I know like you kind of get like jealous of like the white guys in that position. Do you ever like you're like, oh, I wish I was white in that kind of way too?
Not from the position of like I wish I was white so I could pull Asian girls.
No.
I can pull Asian girls by being Asian. I think I wanted to be white like back when I was in high school, and the only people around me were white.
Mhm.
So yeah, not
Yeah.
like that.
Okay.
Um,
Cool.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I think we kind of touched on it. Yeah, we can kind of go past this next part on here, but talk about glow ups.
Glow ups.
You want to talk about like we like mentioned on here that like, or we mentioned like off the pod like, oh, Asians might glow up later
Definitely
than
do.
others. Do you think that's true? And like, do you want to speak to when your glow up was, if you have?
Yeah. I definitely think Asians glow up later. They kind of bloom later. I think like adopted or not, they do because I feel like the like Asian American, like the regular Asian American experience is like I feel like they tend to stay home. Like even during college, they like live at home and they commute, or I don't know. Their parents just have like such a tighter grip on them that they don't get to like glow up and like go out and be in the world. But then yeah, I definitely had glow up. Um, I feel like I was like kind of ugly in middle school through like maybe junior year of high school. And like I talked about this in my episode a little bit, and like all of these things, right, contribute to you being like attractive. It's not just like one thing. So like again, like the makeup, the hair. I was very like I mean, okay, I was also a little nerdy in high school. Like, I was in marching band all 4 years. I used to get so tan. I don't know, it was like not cute. So, half the year I was like that. And then just like the haircuts, didn't know what I was doing. I don't know. Anyways, I do think I did glow up. I think I glowed up into like senior year of high school. And then, I feel like after every breakup, you kind of glow up. Unless, I don't know. I mean, very unfortunate if you glow down. But yeah, my past breakups, and I'm 2-0, I like to say. So I've never been broken up with, but I have been played. But I feel like I like pretty much glue up after those. Just as a like revenge kind of thing. I think that's a thing. I don't know. What was your experience? Do you have any glow ups?
Yeah, I think I agree with you. Asians, I think, glow up later than others. Um, but I think especially for like me as like an adoptee guy, I think a lot about attractiveness also has to do with confidence.
Mm.
And when you're not confident and comfortable in the skin, the body, the way you look, which I will say I like was not for a while, not until you're comfortable and happy with like what you look like and like who you are, then like you can't glow up until that happens. So I think glowed up in college genuinely. For also for the longest time, like I didn't know what to do with my hair. I think hair is a huge part of a guy's attractiveness. They say about like they say guys' hair is like makeup on girls. So that's so true. So didn't know what to do with the hair until like later in college. But then that's also when I started being more secure and like being Asian and like just having to like have good style and like finding clothes and stuff that like fit my vibe and my my body and stuff. And then also just like going to the gym, I think was like a huge one, which is also a huge confidence boost. So I was like college as well. So yeah, I think the biggest part is when like the biggest glow up is like your self confidence basically, and like your self love, and that like even if you don't think so, like you can really see it, like other people can see it, way more than just like a hairstyle change or something. But I also will say like the gym was like a huge catalyst as well, for glow up and whatnot. So yeah, definitely way later than most, I feel like.
Yeah, I agree. I also think, honestly, I had a pretty big glow up in the past like year and a half. And I think that was like going through a big breakup and then also going out to California for the summer. And I will probably refer to this a lot, but I feel like I have friends who like kind of call it the summer I turned pretty. And it's like, because before I was like, I like lived out there, out here in like the Midwest, like the selection is not good if of like men, you know? So it's like the guys who did have crushes on me were not attractive at all. The guys who I would have probably maybe liked were not interested in me. They were interested in like sorority girls or whatever. Anyways, going out to California and then being in like the circumstance that I was in, and I was interning with like a bunch of engineers, mostly guys, like and of like all diversities, it was just so much different. The like change, the like, I don't know. Not that like I ever wanted to be really like white in like high school, middle school, whatever, but I always felt like almost like some of the white girls, like the mid white girls, would get more hype than I did. And it's like, I don't know, it's just like the weird imbalance of it. So I don't know, going out to California, I feel like I was like very much the belle of the ball, and like everyone was like not even attracted to me like romantically, but almost like I would get compliments from strangers, and I would get like girls wanted to be friends with me. Like it's not even like, you know, it wasn't even the engineers, but I feel like that was a big confidence boost. And like, yeah, self-love, confidence, that's huge. And like very much your like insides affect how you feel outside. So I'm a big advocate for self-love. And then I also wrote a little mini condensed guide of like how to glow up as an Asian girl. But I don't want to jump into that too fast. If you have any comments, Josh?
Oh, yeah. I think it's interesting you say that there was no one you liked you where you're from, and then everyone that liked you didn't like.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that's a very guy thing that happens. But yeah, no, I'm very happy that you're able to kind of like get that like not verification or validation, but like realizing that like other people in like another place you might be valued for, and like you feel wanted, which like everyone wants, right? So no, I'm happy that happened, and it kind of sounds like we both kind of had this happen in like college, which is crazy. So yeah, let me hear. I mean, I can't really relate to this, but for the people out there, please share how to glow up as an Asian girl. Yeah.
Okay, this is pretty short. I feel like I could do a whole video on this, but I feel like different audience. Number one thing, I feel like the biggest deal is your eyebrows. I feel like there's some like so gorgeous, pretty Asian girl. Okay, maybe not that guy, whatever. But like, I feel like there's like some super gorgeous, super
guys looking
pretty.
at your eyebrows.
What? Girls that just have like frumpy eyebrows. I don't know. I'm a big believer in eyebrows. It's like the hair theory, you know?
Okay.
Do you know what the hair theory is?
No, it's a hair theory.
So, I should explain it anyway. So it's like you get treated differently as a girl based on your hairstyle. So it's like a lot of people test this when they're like waitressing. So they'll do like pigtails one day, they'll do hair down the other, half up, whatever. I know these might not be terms that you're familiar with, but they get like different amounts of tips, and like there's no control. I don't know, but like generally you get like different treatment with different hairstyles. So I feel like that's the same with like eyebrows. I don't know. I just feel like if you do your eyebrows and they look good and they complement your features, I think that's a big deal.
Okay.
But okay, according to men,
right, what else?
I figure.
Keep going.
Okay.
No, keep
figuring
going.
out a skin routine that works for you, and like this is hard. I know. I've struggled with my skin a little bit, but to be honest, it hasn't really been that bad, which is nice, like convenient for me. And I know other people have like really bad, like hormonal or chronic acne or whatever. But if you can like figure out a skin routine that works for you, like clear skin, I think is a huge deal. I think that is just like, I don't know, even if you are not in the best shape or have, I don't know. Actually, maybe as a guy you can comment on this, but I feel like skin is just like such a big deal because it's like your face is the first thing that people see. And I know it affects people's confidence a lot. What do you think, Josh? Any comments on that?
No, I think I was just gonna say, I think especially as a guy, do like a little similar thing. Yeah, you need to get your skin like cleared up. It's not like we wear makeup or anything. We can't like cover it or anything like that. Yeah, you could, but I think most guys are just not doing that. So getting your skin cleared up, which also involves eating better, drinking more water, like doing those things, like Very important. Getting a haircut that fits you. Just because a 2-block cut looks good on someone does not mean it'll look good on you. We all have different head shapes, different things like that. I had to find this haircut somehow. Took forever, but yeah, haircut is like so important. Like I said, it's like makeup for guys. Haircut, if it fits you, good. Make sure your skin's right. Making sure your hygiene is good. No crust under your like fingernails. No like nasty stuff in your teeth. Making sure you're not smelling bad. Like these are basic things,
Yeah.
but truly like, dude, just grown people don't follow these rules. And it really goes such a long way.
Really does.
And yeah, like just like eating healthier, going to the gym, it's like finding clothes that fit you. That's my little glow up tips, but I'll let you finish.
Well, you just like, took off, but that's fine. Yeah, but I mean, for guys, I feel like so many guys do not find a flattering haircut, or they don't maintain it. They just like let it grow out, and it's like you should be like on this like every 2-3 weeks. I feel like, I don't know. That's what I would think.
You know how much haircuts cost?
You know how much girls' haircuts cost?
Yeah, but you guys don't have to like
Maintain it.
you're not getting fades like every 3 weeks. You could just
But
like
the color.
snip every like 3 months.
I mean, I guess not every girl colors their hair, but it gets expensive. And you have to keep up, because, like, roots, and, like, don't look at my hair right now, but it gets expensive, okay? Like, maybe it's not as often, technically.
That's what I'm saying. It's not. You say like every guys need to keep up with it every 2 to 3 weeks.
But it's just hair.
It's like $50.
But, like, okay, fine. Well, we'll say it's even in the long run.
Yeah, but hey, listen, just quick plug out there. I don't pay for haircuts because learn to cut my own hair. So guys, learn a skill.
tip.
Cut your own hair. Save you some money. So okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
And then, for guys though, facial hair, like, some people have some questionable facial hair. Like those like little chin strap, like, no, get rid of that, shave that. Or like the like patchy beards, or like they don't connect. It's like, just leave it. Just shave your face.
What about a stash? What about the dudes with the nice?
Those so annoying. Like, what is the movie? Top Gun? The Top Gun mustaches?
Yeah, Top Gun Maverick.
Ugh, I don't like
Little-
the mustaches.
A little mustache vibe? No,
Nah.
not doing anything for you.
Not really.
Just-
I don't know. I'm not a big fan of like facial hair, but like definitely ungroomed, like unkept facial hair. You can grow the biggest beard, the thickest beard as you want, but if it's like down your neck, like out to the sides, like that's just not cute. Like, don't even, like, that just takes away from it. I don't know. I'm a big critic of men's facial hair. So like,
No, fair. And I feel like as Asian people, Asian guys, we're not even really capable of growing facial hair as it is. So if you're listening out there, Asian, I feel like just keeping the baby smooth is you can't go wrong. So
because
leave it at that.
yeah, I feel like most Asian guys, they kind of look like a little middle schooler who hasn't learned how to shave for the first time when they try and grow out their facial hair.
Brutal.
Sorry,
Brutal.
had to say it. I like to keep it
So
real.
uncalled for.
But yeah, anyways,
I don't think that, guys.
Josh will love you no matter what.
Amen. Amen. All right. Anything else with gloves?
The
Do you
rest
feel like
of it
there's
you
anything else that
took.
needs to be said?
Fine. Clothes that
Oh.
fit your body shape.
You said as a girl.
As a girl,
I was-
I know.
Oh, you gotta talk
Oh my
about
God.
as guys.
Whatever. Because you brought up all of the other stuff that I was going to bring up, but for girls. But
But as a guy, I was just saying as
Okay,
a guy.
okay.
Oh.
Okay. Well, anyways.
Okay. Sorry.
the clothes, flattering your body shape, not everyone, at least girls, well, yeah, not everyone has the same body shape. I feel like you really have to dress for it. And I think it's really easy to just put on whatever and you like look dumb. I don't know. So I feel like, yeah, finding your body shape, finding clothes that fit it. And then also as an Asian girl, finding a seamstress is like mandatory. I have my little seamstress at home here. Her name's Arlene. She's like an 86-year-old like little lady. I love her. She hems all of my pants. She hems all of my dresses. Takes it in the waist. It's just so much nicer having clothes that fit. Like, it is just so hard as an Asian girl to like find clothes that are short enough or small enough sometimes. I feel like that's a big thing, and I like still struggle with it today. Like work clothes, so hard to find. But yeah, then flattering haircuts slash styles. I think this is a little easier for girls because you can just like keep it long and like guys will be like, yeah, that's sick. And then finding a good like makeup routine. It's just like I like to keep it simple. I think I don't know, as an Asian girl, it's hard. Like some girls can really like pull it off, but I feel like more often than not, when Asian girls like try and put on too much makeup, it's just like it does not work with their features. Like not all lashes are gonna work for your face. Not all colors work. I mean, I still struggle with like colors and like undertones, all of that. You know, Josh is here. Like, what is that? But yeah, in my opinion, high quality over quantity. And then self-care, self-love, you know, all of the things, putting on the nice lotion after your shower, exfoliate, all of that. Painting your nails so they're pretty for you, not for anyone else, for you. But yeah, that's what I've got. Condensed version.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, moving on, I think something we also wanted to talk about in this episode, and we only probably got like 20 minutes left here, but kind of go through it, is the whole dating in 2024, these weird terms that we have for different situations of relationships, things that I truly personally don't believe are very helpful and like don't make finding your person much easier, just because there's just all these different nuances to things and like people acting different ways and whatnot. So we'll kind of get into these different terms. So number one, situationship. Basically you're talking and maybe doing other things, but you don't have the label of boyfriend, girlfriend. So that's number one. Number two, we have FWB, friends with benefits. Pretty self-explanatory. I feel like that one's been around for a while. Number three, sneaky link, which now that I think about it, is pretty much the same as an FWB. So yeah.
Wait, I think it's different.
Number four, I think it's generally the same.
Okay.
You might not show your sneaky link out to
That's the whole sneaky part.
Your friends or anything. Okay. But there's a little bit of crossover there. I don't really like talking about this. Number four, we have hoes.
Hoes.
Why did I say it like that? Hoes. You know, actually, this isn't really a type of situation or like a relationship, but just generally like, you know, guys a hoe, girls a hoe. And then number 4 or 5, which I had never heard until this very moment, this very day, is delusionship, which according to Janie means a guy or a girl. I've never heard this term, but so maybe it's a girl thing, but a girl thinking and exaggerating some act or relationship with a guy and making it more than it truly is. So she's being delusional, thinking that it even needs to be something with a ship after it. So that's what that is. Just all these silly words, you know. I just all these different. Oh, where's my situationship? Oh, it's my sneaky link. Oh, I gotta like hit my FWB. Like there's just like it's kind of exhausting. We just have all these silly terms.
I agree.
You wanna talk about these?
I do. So the whole like situationships thing, I feel like it's kind of that like in between talking stage versus like dating or like in a relationship. I guess, okay, if you don't know what a talking stage is, you might be a little too old for this episode. But I feel like most situationships is really just one person is not willing to commit, and like situationships should not be happening. I feel like you either know or you don't, and I think people like to string other people along, and like that is what results in a situationship. I think it's a majority kind of opinion. It's just like situationships are such a dumb part of like modern dating, and like I think they just like shouldn't happen. It's like, I don't know. Like, get over yourself, either commit or don't commit. I think it's such an asshole move to like string someone along. But I think delusionship is more, I mean, yeah, it is like the playing up of like small things, and like, listen, the bar is on the ground sometimes with like girls will think like guys will open doors for them or like pay for dinner, and they'll be like, oh my god, I'm in love. And it's like, no, he should be doing that. So yeah, that's kind of that part of delusionships. Hoes, okay. I don't think you explained this as well. I think so. Like, I don't think it's like, so it used to be such a like guy thing to like have hoes, and it's like these like women on standby that are like interested in them, willing to do stuff. Roster. Yeah, and you've got the roster, right? It's like all these people interested in you, whatever, like dating options. But I think it's like less of a man thing these days. Like, I feel like girls can have hoes too, and it's usually not as
100%.
Yeah, it's usually not as like I don't know, like as bad of a connotation, but it's just like, you know, like this guy who like has a crush on you, like your hoe, is like, he would take you out to lunch, whatever, if you asked. He would do all these things. He would help change the license plate on your car, whatever. So it's like, yeah.
Oddly specific.
Okay. Anyways, so yeah, hoes, roster, kind of the same thing.
No, yeah, yeah. I think everyone. Okay, a lot of people, not everyone. A lot of people have a roster. I think. Okay, I didn't know that's what you meant by hoes.
Not just like calling people hoes.
But that sounds like so like bad. Like just be like, oh yeah, one of my hoes. No.
Yeah.
No.
Maybe not so nice, but
yeah, definitely guys and girls are victim to or at fault for guilty of this one. Yeah, it's just another example of how this whole modern dating thing is just like we've just collapsed on ourselves, and we've just like really lost the true purpose of like what's going on. It's all because of like social media and and like just having like instant messaging at our fingertips at all times. I think that's another reason for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think. Yeah.
What are you gonna say?
Go ahead. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I don't know. There's also like these like silly little whatever. So it's like people can have like digital hoes or like digital hoe phases or whatever. I feel like there's like the Snapchat hoes. There's like the dudes who like live rent free in your DMs. At least as a girl. I don't know if there's that as guys.
Digital hoes?
Yeah.
I mean, isn't that like where we're? Well, yeah. I think guys are more likely, or girls are more likely to receive random like messages from guys, but the average guy is just not gonna like have like a girl on standby that can like come and like give them like comfort them or something, or like go out and like hang out with them whenever they want. I think it's a little different that way, and like guys are just. Girls have more available dudes that are kind of on standby.
Yeah.
In that sort of sense. So yeah. But I think I want to go on to like the last topic before we finish. I think this is one of the most important topics that we kind of wanted to get through today. Is just like going through a few of the problems among the ones we've already identified in modern dating. So number one, I think going along with like social media and everything, having people at our fingertips, Instagram, social media, everything like that, everyone kind of thinks that they can do better. They can get someone better, someone prettier, someone whatever. Just because it takes 3 seconds to open my phone, look at Instagram, and then find a beautiful girl. And then when you see like all these beautiful people on your feed every day, it's very easy for you to believe that reality is like that, and that you can find someone that's better than what you already have, or just make your standard way higher than it truly should be, like proportionate to like what you should actually, like where you actually stand. So I think that's a huge problem. Number two is people playing games and other people, like just different styles of reciprocation. It's like a huge problem on dating apps, I think. So like the push and pull. Like you don't want to, guys. You don't want to seem too available to a girl. Like you don't want to text them like, oh, when can you hang out? She doesn't answer. Then you double text her like 3 hours later, like, oh, like did I do something wrong? Like that crap. So that's like doing too much. So obviously you want to at least seem less available so that you may seem more attractive, which is so backwards. If both people are like playing games and like doing the push and pull thing, if both you guys actually like each other, but you both know that you should play games and like not show like genuine interest in each other from the beginning, then there's so many relationships that just never materialize because you're both like thinking way too much into it because of this stupid societal like modern dating thing that we have going on. So that's number two. Do you want to go into the next couple?
Oh, yeah. I mean, okay. So, well, first of all, for the whole like game thing, never mind. I kind of forgot what I was gonna say. But oh, well, I would say okay. If you play too many games, some girls will like they'll get the ick because of that. Like, doesn't matter how cute you are, how whatever. If you're gonna play games, ick. But anyways, so yeah, micro cheating I feel like is a huge thing in this digital age. It's like micro cheating is cheating, in my opinion. Some people will like dismiss it because of it's just digital, and like by micro cheating I mean like acts of like say okay, like in the instance of like I have a boyfriend. If my boyfriend is like hearting other girls' stories or DMing them or watching a bunch of TikToks of like dancing girls half naked, or honestly even like watching like that's I don't know, it's like why do you feel the need to do that if like am I not enough? So I feel like, and like that is like kind of a form of cheating, even if it's like one-sided, even if it's not them like specifically messaging back and forth with a girl or like sending nudes back and forth or whatever, because that's definitely cheating. Yeah, these like forms of like micro cheating I think is a big deal in this like digital age. And then this next one, they call it the sassy man apocalypse, or slash like feminine men. And it's not to say like men can't be like silly goofy like hey girl like types, but and they can't like get pedicures or whatever. Like it's not that. It's like these men that like they want to be passenger princess and like they want you to pick up the food, or I don't know, just this like
yeah,
what do you have to say?
it's weird, but you know what's wild is like some girls will do that though for a guy. Some
Yeah.
girls want like a little like
Yeah.
like my friend, Asian guy, he's gotten like girls like send him likes on like Hinge or whatever, like saying like, oh, I love little like Asian guys that like can take care of. Like
Okay.
like there's weirdly like it works for some people.
Yeah.
But obviously, like when you're in the frame of like traditional gender roles in a relationship, yeah, that seems absurd and seems stupid.
Okay, that is
what
true.
girl's gonna want to do that for him? But we live in a world where there are just so many like deviant and like different like people on the spectrum of like roles and like your gender and stuff that like. And the
That's
thing
true.
is, you don't even know like what these girls think. Like you don't know what these like on like a dating app or something. You just go off what they look like, maybe a few prompts, but you don't know like if you should play these games. You don't know if like how they're viewing you. Like there's just so much to like think about, and there's just like so little chance for like it to actually like become something just because of all these like stupid little like things and nuances you have to like think about, which like sucks. And it's like
It's true.
we've just collapsed on ourselves. It's like over availability has made it like even harder to like find people. But I agree. Yeah, micro cheating. It's just way too easy to get away with stuff, way too easy to like, yeah, like you don't also want to be like the one that's overprotective or like, oh, like insecure, like
Yeah.
you can like do that whole thing about like, oh, why do you want my password or why do you want my location? Are you insecure? Like, don't you trust me? Like that crap. Like,
Yeah, so much. And yeah, the whole like locations, like our parents did not have to deal with this stuff like back in 1970. I don't know how old people are. But yeah, location sharing, like snap maps, stories, I don't know. The secret photo apps, all the things. It's just so much to deal with. But yeah, and then I don't know, I wrote this last one down like as we were talking. But and I guess okay, now that you talk about like the nuances of like people's genders and their like sexuality, gender identity, all of these things, or even just like what they prefer in a relationship, like this does not apply for all of them. But in my experience, I feel like there are like men that like I don't know, they feel like emasculated when their like girlfriend or wife or whatever is like more successful than them. And I think there's like statistics that say like men are more likely to cheat when their wife like makes more money than them or like their salary is higher. And it's just like this weird, I don't know, like you want to be okay, like this modern dating, like you want to be okay like that your wife is making more money than you or whatever. But I feel like I don't know, some men like take all of these things into account and like they feel emasculated about them. Not all of them, but like some of them do. I don't know, it's just like a weird thing. And then there's like this, I don't know, I've had experiences of like men like they almost get like jealous about how like desirable like some women are, because it's like when you think about it, like you like as a dude you could work out as much as you want and get jacked as much as you want, but you will not have like the same sexual appeal or pull as like I don't know, more attractive than average like girl. It's not the same, like. And I don't know, I feel like I know guys who've like they like resent girls about that and like they want to humble them. I don't know weird.
whoa.
Yeah, like a weird nuanced thing.
You have some crazy. Well, these are some interesting takes you have.
Yeah.
Okay, so for me, in my opinion, the whole emasculated thing, I don't think that's a modern dating problem. I think that's like a timeless issue.
Mm-hmm.
I think guys generally have like a maybe more pride in like the general traditional norm of like the guy's supposed to be the provider, the one that's supposed to make more money, things like that. And when that's not true, like it's gonna not be good. So I don't know if that's like a modern thing.
Sure.
And then what you say about like if a guy can work out as much as he wants, but he'll never be as attractive as like he'll have the same sex appeal as like an average girl. That's just like a crazy thing to say. I don't know. I feel like that's like a crazy thing to say, and I wouldn't put that out there. But like me personally, I wouldn't put that out there. But because those are just two completely different like.
I know, but it's
like those are comparing guys and girls.
Exactly, but like guys will like think of it as competition.
What's wrong with a guy?
It's like I don't know. It's like this weird.
You think that like guys are like getting upset that like they can't pull? Like I feel like it's because let me put it this way. The reason that guys are doing this and you might feel that guys think like that is because guys are very like visual compared to girls, and so like they are much more physically attracted to physical things, and so like girls aren't as physically attracted to like the physical features of a guy in the same way that guys are to girls. So I think the guy that might be just working out and angry that he's not getting any girls shouldn't be putting all his energy into getting like jacked. He needs to put his energy into like developing a multi-dimensional personality and maybe like picking up some hobbies that girls might appreciate and being like a secure guy. So
yeah,
I get what you're saying. I think we can agree.
I agree on that.
Disagree, but I'm just hearing that.
Wait. Okay, I have a specific instance. I don't know. And
It sounded like it. I was like way too specific.
Okay, maybe not.
For it not to be a first person experience.
Oh, my bad then. But okay, we'll talk about. So he's an ex friend now. We're not really friends anymore. But he would always talk about like, okay, right, like we knew each other's like body counts, whatever. But like he would always like try and one up me whenever we like would talk about experiences with like other people, or like not even like just like dating, or just like, oh, it's like, oh, like, because like as a girl, like guys will usually like in courting you, like they'll buy you presents or whatever, or like pay for stuff. And like he would always try and one up me and be like, yeah, this like older woman whoa, sorry, my dog just sneezed. That was like blah blah blah. We were like had this thing, whatever. She would like pay for this stuff. I'm like, why are you competing with me right now? Like, you are a dude. Like, I know, like, I don't know, things are so different, but it's like, do you think we're like in the same realm? That like, oh, you have a sugar mommy, that's so cool. I don't know. It was like a weird thing, but I feel like he was an insecure man. He would, yeah.
Yeah, I think you could chalk it up to that guy's definitely insecure, and as like should not be comparing a guy's experience in pulling to a girl's. That's just literally comparing apples and oranges, literally. So, he's just got like a whole perception issue there. So no, you're reasonable to bring that up, but I don't think that's a common thing. There's not a lot of dudes that are doing that, but
okay. I'll take that.
All right, I think we got through pretty much everything we wanted to talk about. We kind of rushed the end, but I think we covered like at least a pretty surface level of the problems, at least that we identify as like issues in modern dating. But yeah, we kind of ran up on time. I think what I want to leave you with, from my opinion, is if I'm talking to the fellas out there, make sure you are truly like working on your, sounds so cliche, but you gotta really figure yourself out. Make sure you're secure in who you are and who you want to, and like who you are, and love every bit about you. And that's like an action. Love to love, like the love as an action, not just like say you love yourself, but it's like a daily thing you must do every day. That will translate to confidence. That will translate to things happening to you. Like things will shape up for you once you learn to be loving who you are and being secure of who you are. So I think that's step one. And then from there, then it is healthy. And then you're in a healthy place to then look for someone else out there. So that's what I have to say. That's my message to the guys out there. So yeah.
Yes. I mean, okay, I don't have anything as heartfelt, but that also applies to women, obviously. But like to everyone, right? You can't pour from an empty cup. If you don't love yourself, you should not be dating people. You should not be like, I don't know, ruining other people's self-esteems because you can't love yourself. Like, you should be enough for yourself, and you should not be relying on other people for that validation. Like, I really believe that. I think it just tears down the other person, and it kind of ends up, there's just like this unhealthy reliance and like codependency that some people have. And like, it could be two people that don't love each other enough, like that are relying on each other. It's not just like one or the other. But yeah, self-love is key. Always a big advocate for that. And I have a ton of book recommendations if anyone wants to hear them ever. So yes, that is it.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you guys for listening. We appreciate all the support and love that we've been receiving so far in the early stages of our podcast. But yeah, leave a like, comment if you have anything to say. We're checking the comments. Subscribe if you're new and you haven't yet. Check us out on Instagram. Our personals and the podcast is in the description. But yeah, we appreciate you guys watching.
Yes, and tell your friends. Share with any adoptees you know, Asian people, Gen Z, anyone who cares to listen. Yes. So,
Yeah.
anyways,
No.
that is it. We'll see you guys next week.
All right. Peace.
Bye.